Born into a political family in Louisiana, her full name was Mary Martha Corinne Morrison Claiborne Boggs. But her brother could not pronounce her name. To him, she was Cokie. That's who she was to the rest of us, too.
Well, thank you for having me, and please call me Cokie.
Well, I will, but I'm from the South, too, so you know how that goes.
Cokie Roberts' father was longtime Congressman Hale Boggs, at one point the majority leader. He was killed in a plane crash, and his wife, Lindy Boggs, would win his seat. Together, Cokie's parents would represent the people of New Orleans in Congress for nearly 50 years. Cokie grew up in the South. She was also a young witness to history in our nation's capital. It left an impression on her how much the women were really doing.
We watched them run the political conventions, their husbands' offices, their campaigns.
Cokie didn't consider politics as a young woman, but instead she decided to report on it, to witness it. A student at Wellesley, she met her future husband, Stephen Roberts, at a political meeting in 1962. He was studying at Harvard, a budding journalist himself. They would marry in 1966, and President Lyndon Johnson famously attended their wedding. Cokie's mother, Lindy, actually cooking food for the crowd of 1,500. Along the way, Cokie would remember that first job, anchoring a public affairs program in Washington. She was just 21. It was called Meeting of the Minds.
It was essentially reporting and then writing very brief little stories, and I loved it.
She would become a political commentator for NPR, and in 1988, she would join ABC News.
We're following two major stories tonight.
She would contribute to ABC's This Week, and then co-anchor the program with Sam Donaldson.
What is your definition of womanizing, Sam?
Most women know it when they see it, Senator.
And through the years, every big political night, Cokie was there too. Her interviews with presidents and first ladies. Cokie was an author and historian too, writing more than a half dozen books, so often telling the untold contributions of women in America. And she wrote a book called We Are Our Mother's Daughters. And she said this not so long ago.
What has been the best piece of advice someone has given you regarding
Listen to
your
your mother.
Well, that worked out well.
Cokie would win Emmys. She was named a living legend by the Library of Congress. She was cited one of the 50 greatest women in the history of broadcasting. But it was never the awards or the attention. It was family. Her 2 children, Rebecca and Lee, her 6 grandchildren, and her husband of more than 50 years, Stephen. Tonight, the family saying we will miss Cokie beyond measure, both for her contributions and for her love and kindness. Former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama calling Cokie a role model to young women at a time when the profession was still dominated by men, a constant over 40 years of a changing world. President George W. Bush, former First Lady Laura Bush writing, she covered us for decades as a talented, tough, and fair reporter. We respected her drive and appreciated her humor. She became a friend. And tonight, Speaker Nancy Pelosi calling her a trailblazer who forever transformed the role of women in the newsroom. And Save the Children tonight, remembering a tireless champion for children. But to all of us here at ABC News, she was Cokie. She made us all better. Her brilliant mind, her sharp wit, but above all, it was her kindness. So true.